Hello everyone. I have zero intentions as far as what this video will entail. Besides me drinking tea and talking about random subjects, we have some Taeguanyin oolong that I got from Red Blossom Tea Company in San Francisco, which is pretty nice. I think my only goal here is just to drink some tea and kind of freeform talk about anything that comes to mind. Or we can just hang out in silence with one another. That would also work. This was coming out a little astringent the past couple steeps, so I'm trying to be careful about not over-steeping it. Maybe my water's too hot. Could be either one. Let's see how my pour goes. A little shabby. That's okay though. A very nice dragon pattern in here. I might brew a little bit longer. If you're wondering, no, I'm not going to talk about the tea. We have plenty of people on YouTube talking about tea. It's a very niche subject. I think we have, again, plenty of people talking about it, not enough people just drinking it. So I'm just going to drink it. People keep saying I'm back. since I switched to a new medication because of my Crohn's disease. I was on Humira for about 3 months, and usually Humira takes almost a year, I guess, 9 to 12 months to see any real results. I was miserable. The first 2 weeks were great because I was on a loading dose, and then I ate some roasted squash that I had made, and that apparently had way too much insoluble fiber in it that put me right back in a flare. My GI didn't think that that was particularly worrisome, so I went to a different GI in a different city, about a 40-minute drive or so, and he looked at me and he said, "You're obviously suffering. We have to consider both your inflammation and your symptoms, so I'm going to put you on Skyrizi." Well, the Skyrizi infusions have been going really, really well, which I'm very thankful for. But people around me keep saying, welcome back, because I have more energy and I feel better and all these things. But I don't feel like I'm back exactly. I don't feel like I've returned in any particular way. I don't feel like my old self. I feel quite different, and I still feel quite different, very changed. Saying that I'm back reminds me of a hero's journey kind of thing, like you've returned home. I don't feel like I've returned to anything. I just feel like I'm better, but I'm different. My awareness is different. The way that I approach everything is different. The way that I approach food is different. The way that I approach my body is different. The way that I approach my mental health is different. The way that I approach tea is different. I couldn't drink tea, usual, typical Yorkshire berries, Twinings, Irish breakfast tea, English breakfast tea, good builder's tea, good strong brew with a little bit of sugar and milk. I couldn't drink that anymore because, for one, it's cheap tea dust, and you're extracting it for 5-7 minutes or something ridiculous like I would do. And there's too many other compounds, including the caffeine, that would get extracted. So I switched to gong fu, right? Shorter steeps, better leaves, better everything. And so I can't even drink tea the same way anymore. So I don't feel like I'm back. I keep thinking about Lord of the Rings. They begin their journey from Rivendell, and they have to pass through the mines of Moria to get to the other side of the mountain. And that's how I feel. I feel like I haven't returned anywhere. I just feel like I've gone through the mines of Moria and I've ended up on the other side. And I've lost Gandalf. Or I had to fight a Balrog, or both. So I don't feel like I'm back. I just feel like I've gone through one dark tunnel through a mountain, and I've made it to the other side of it, but who knows what other trials and tribulations await me going forward. Still not through the woods yet, or through the mountain range, as the case may be. So I don't know. I know they mean well, though. I don't mean to critique the people around me. I know that they're just happy to see me be healthy and, have a little bit less brain fog, and to be a little bit more seemingly normal. But that just doesn't resonate with me at all. I don't feel like I've returned. I don't feel back. I just feel like I've gotten through something, and that's it. But I'm not the same. Not the same at all. I don't feel the same. I don't mean for this to be sad, I meant for this to be peaceful, but that was just something that's on my mind. Last time when I posted a video, I was talking about Stoicism, and I was returning to that as a kind of way of coping with pain and with suffering. And I still think that there's something in being able to bear pain well, especially when you're going through it. You have to be able to bear pain well. That's really all you can do. I don't think that the pain teaches us anything after a certain point. I don't know if there's really anything to learn there. I was reading Nietzsche, And of course, he hates the Stoics, so opposite end of the spectrum there, or at least he was highly critical of them. And of course, he's a pessimist in the same way that Schopenhauer was a pessimist, insofar as they both agree that life inherently is suffering and tragic and, all that. And, I suppose in the moment that emotionally resonates with me. I don't know if it's true, but it emotionally resonates for sure. Oh, we have a dog barking in the background. Oh well. But Nietzsche talks about a pessimism of strength, right? Not necessarily in any kind of like broad-chested sense. Again, I think we want to read the Stoics and Nietzsche and all these philosophers in a broad-chested kind of way, when I just don't think that's not at all what they're proposing. Many of them weren't broad-chested. I mean, you look at Nietzsche, he wanted to seem that way. The Stoics never really were. If you look at depictions of Epictetus, he was as thin as I am now, emaciated practically. But not in a broad-chested sense, this pessimism of strength. The strength lies in, are you able to say yes to life regardless of all of the suffering and tragedy and irrational dimensions of it? Are you able to still say yes to it? Can you? And how does one do that? I don't really know. But I think that my inclination is to say yes somehow. I don't have a reason why. I don't know what the reason is exactly. But it just seems to be that I do seem to want to say yes to life regardless of the pain that I've been through, even if there was some dimension of self-infliction there. I do want to say yes to it, though. I continue to say yes to it. It's easier to say yes to it when you're not in so much pain, physical pain. I would take mental anguish over physical anguish any day, any time now, I would say. But a pessimism of strength. Can you say yes to life with all of its tragedy included? I think I have, and I continue to, or I seem to continue to. So I guess that's where I'm at. I'm going to brew another cup of tea, because maybe that'll be good for thought. And I guess you get to watch me do it. It's kind of interesting because this particular bottle, it is double-walled and it is heat safe. I had to look that up and make sure. It is stainless steel. And it's still steaming, which is good. But it does lose heat a little bit more than maybe a better thermos might. Which is fine because I'm brewing an oolong, and oolongs tend to do really well at boiling temperature or at a little bit under boiling temperature. Here I am talking about the tea when I said that I wouldn't talk about the tea. What are you going to do? I'm going to brew this for a little bit longer, and I'm going to give the rest of this cup to my mulch behind the camera here. It's actually a decent dry steep setup with this little failed plant with the mulch in it, because maybe if I get a new plant in this little blue pot here behind the camera, I might actually be able to feed it. But I don't know too many plants that can be fed with tea, because I know that tea is not quite the same as feeding them with coffee. So I said that I'd let this brew a little bit longer. Everything has to be rediscovered after a certain point. I think that's good for people. You have to rediscover things. I was a very good reader when I was just a kid, like a child. I did really well on the AR at like elementary school age. I did really well on AR tests, right? It's accelerated reading tests, because I would read so much, and I loved reading. And then I read so well that they put me in. That was a slightly better pour. They put me in an advanced readers group in 4th grade, And because we all had to read the same thing, I didn't want to read it anymore. Something about me and authority just wasn't clicking at that point, I guess, or something about the structure was too much. I liked having my own thing. I don't know. And so that turned me off to reading pretty bad for like, God, I don't know, until I was in college, basically, until I was 18 or just getting out of high school. And I was like, oh, actually, reading's kind of important, you know? Reading is pretty good for you. Reading can be fun. So I had to rediscover it then, but it was still very slow, and it was difficult, and it was arduous, and very in and out. I'd have bursts of energy where I would read a lot, and then I would read nothing for weeks. And then I'd read something else, and then I'd have a burst of energy, and I'd finish a book. And then I would not read for weeks upon weeks, maybe months, depending, right? And I'm an English major. That's no good, right? You have to read something. Just the way it is. Very floral today. I don't know what's up with that. I mean, it's Taeguanyin, so it's very floral, but it can be floral. But I was kind of hoping for some more roast, a little bit more roast in the flavors. Get those out of the way. And so now that I'm not in school and I don't have to read things, I'm discovering reading for just its own sake and for fun, and not to make it an accomplishment or something that's rooted in productivity, right? You think, oh, if I just read one more book, or if I can check one more book off of my reading list, or if I can add another book to my Goodreads or something like that, or if I can post about how many books I've read this year or something like that, then suddenly things will, be better, or I'll be more smart, or I'll feel good. Not at all. And I really appreciate the book that I'm reading right now. I'm reading Shogun by James Clavell, because I loved the series so much on Hulu, FX, or whatever. The series is wonderful. I was like, I gotta read the book. And I like a thick book. I like a big, thick book. I mean, who doesn't? Well, I guess some people don't. But that's a 1,200-page book. And I'm only about 300 pages in, and I'm really taking my time with it, and that's okay. It might take me a year to finish it. All the better. If anything, you gotta slow max this kind of thing. You want to take your time, because once you're finished with the book, then, at least for me, I'm sad. I want to go back into that world. So there's no point in, blazing through it, unless if you're just enjoying it, but savor it. You should take things slow. You have to take things slow. I've had to learn how to take things slower, anyway. So you constantly have to rediscover things. It can be renewed in all kinds of wonderful ways. I guess this is a slower form of drinking tea, for sure, because you have to sit here and you have to re-steep pretty constantly, which is kind of economical in its own way, and the brew is pretty quick, and you don't have to sit here and have a setup and everything. You can just go to the kitchen, do the brew, take your cup, and go about your day, and then come back when you need it. You don't have to sit here and make it a meal or anything like that, or a ritual. But it's nice to just take things slow and to just listen to the breeze. Hope he's okay. I don't know what's going on. Well, I'm gonna finish this tea, And maybe I'll go back inside. Who knows? I don't know. It's really nice out, so I might stay out here. But hope you enjoyed having tea with me. Maybe you'll get some tea yourself and rewind or something and just sit and enjoy.